Good morning. It is the month that we call November, the date that we call the 28th, the year that we call 2025, on the day that we call Friday. You haven't seen me this week because I have been a busy beaver getting ready for Thanksgiving. I've spent all week getting ready for the big day, and then I worked my ass off yesterday too. Anyway, it's about 6:45 a.m. here Eastern Standard Time. All the apps are crashing this morning, you guys, so there was a reading that I wanted to do on Black Goo, but I can't get in to see my screenshots right now because everything's crashing. So we'll see how this goes with this video and the uploading. But I'm having trouble here today with the apps, not just gallery apps, but all the apps. All right, so I also know that the universe had wanted us to, they had more that they wanted to say about the media, but we can check that at a later date because it doesn't look like it's going away anytime soon. So, and we've done quite a lot of readings, I feel, on the media. So, today, we're going to look at a couple of things. I hope that you all had a beautiful Thanksgiving. For those that celebrate, surrounded by family and loved ones and good food and laughter and memories made. And for those of you that didn't have that, I hope that you got through it the best way that you could. Yeah, so there's that, right? And for those of you in other countries that don't celebrate, I still hope that you all had a beautiful day. So there's a lot going on right now. Remember how we did a look at the midterm election here, the election that we just had. Trying to get my words right. Last week or the week before, the week before, we did a reading on that. And we got that Mondami, or however you pronounce his name, is a white hat. Well, someone sent me a clip of an interview that, not an interview, but a conference. Trump had him to the White House anyways. And we got confirmation on that. Mondami is the white hat. The way the interaction with the two of them went down is definitely part of the show. Donald Trump mentioned, geez, for a while you were 5, then 6, then I think he said 8 or 9 or something like that. And then he said, and then you hit 17. And then he said, and I was like, wow, 17, that's interesting. So there's our cue right there, right? 17, Donald Trump said it twice. It's kind of all obvious. And now you've got this pretend fight with Marjorie Taylor Greene, just like you had the pretend fight with DeSantis, just like you had the pretend fight with Elon. And so with Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's calling out both sides of the government, which somebody needs to, because it's been both sides that have been corrupt. It's not just the Democrats, right? So you got this fake fight going on with Marjorie, and that's getting people who would hate Donald Trump to actually listen to her with some reason and some logic instead of being so against her because she's a Trump girl, right? So it seems pretty obvious that it's fake to me. I do see that there are people that are wishy-washy out there that are like, oh, first they were a Marjorie Taylor Greene person, and now they're all like, oh, she's deep state, and people allow themselves to get emotionally triggered and not really look and listen and observe with eyes to see, ears to hear, or logic. They allow themselves to get all uptight, which is kind of silly, but people do it. So, that news isn't for us, really. It's not for us. It's to get people who aren't full on awake to listen. It's to get people who are Trump haters to listen. And so I believe that's what's going on. And we're going to take a look at Marjorie Taylor Greene right now. The other thing is, there's also been all of this General Flynn winding people up. That's part of the show, you guys. It's not meant for us. Asking Trump to take Bondi out and replace her with, what is her name? Sidney Powell. And, of course, she can do tribunals and stuff. So there's a lot to all of this, but it's not really for us. You know what I mean? It's for us to listen to and pick things out so that we understand where we're at in this operation, in my humble opinion. So, Marjorie Taylor Greene is taking a lot of slings and arrows right now. I think that's part of what she's meant to be doing. And, General Flynn is getting people thinking that if Donald Trump doesn't do something fast, we're going to lose our country. So, before I get started, you guys, I want to go ahead and say, if I haven't, I don't think I have, the healing intentions are always set for you folks. Always, always, always. So if you so choose, go ahead, stand in your power, decree that for your highest and greatest good, only and always. And then just go ahead and breathe and allow that to integrate your body. And also, not that this ever happens on YouTube. It did on the Rumble channel a lot, but my Rumble channel's been down since April. But it's good to say it just in case it does start happening. Don't follow any links or emails in the comments section of the channel from anybody soliciting you for anything, pretending to be me or anyone else. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. It's scammers. So don't fall victim to scams. All right, now with that being said, let's let the universe with one card best describe Marjorie Taylor Greene's intentions. Please and thank you. Only the truth is welcome here. Only the truth is welcome here. Only the truth is welcome here. I decree it. So it is. So be it. It is done. We don't care if we like what we get for a card. We don't care if we do like what we get for a card. We just want the truth, right? So there's two ways that this can go down, right? So either Marjorie Taylor Greene was always a bad person under control, and now she's exiting stage left and she's doing what she's told. Or Marjorie Taylor Greene has been working with the white hats all along and is still a good person and is doing what she's told so that she can get other people to actually listen to her that maybe wouldn't have before. Either way, it doesn't matter as long as the outcome is the same. That's how I feel about it anyways. But I know that a lot of people are like raging about MTG right now. I don't know if you all listened to her speech, but it was really good and it was very logical. And as long as she's pretend fighting with Trump, there's a whole other side of the coin that will listen to her with ears to hear. So let's just get with one card, please and thank you. The truth about Marjorie Taylor Greene's character, please and thank you. With one card. That wants to... Oh, there's a couple things. We'll keep them. We're keeping them, you guys. There's more to it than just one card. So, Marjorie Taylor Greene's character. You get that 4. So she's part of the work. This is the rods. She's part of the work to create balance. She's part of the work to do, to bring in a little bit more simplicity and things that make sense. if you look down at the bottom of the card, that's her making a deal with the guy there. They're working together, right? So she's working, she's doing good work to create logic and balance. Let's take these other two cards. There's a big focus on her. A big focus on her right now. And it looks like people are getting caught up. If you could see this card better, it's the Lover's card. It's the Lover's card. It's a higher arcana. So she's working to do things like, so she's not bad, right? These are deals. She's doing what's part of the deal. And this is to help create a semblance of balance. And can you see that? Semblance of balance with that 4. Now with this 6, this is everything you're seeing with Marjorie Taylor Greene is being done under the love vibration with that Lovers. It's a big picture move. It's like, this is a big picture move. And people are getting kind of caught up in it. And so the warning here with this getting caught up in focusing and getting caught up on things is, you know, be careful, because that's poisonous. That can poison the body, right? So there's a lot of getting caught up and there's a lot of poisonous things right now. But with that, it's creating a semblance of chaos and fighting that looks like it's distracting people from something else. So there's more to it than just getting people listening to her with some logic and some reason. This whole Marjorie Taylor Greene distraction. Can you see that? This is a 5. This is the 5 of rods, right? And it's chaos. Is causing a bit of chaos. And these people are all distracted, getting fighting over whether she's good or bad, right? Even though she's sitting up there, she's really not doing anything to take those slings and arrows. She's being logical and balanced, and like people are getting caught up and poisoned over it. But it's designed to keep people distracted from what's happening in the background, you guys. In the background, there's something blooming. But as long as everybody is fighting and in chaos, they're not noticing that. All right, so next we have the 8. And the 8 comes directly down. That's the 8 of rods, you guys. And if you look really close, I'm sorry, the lighting's really funky. But if you look, she's getting ready to cut down those rods. There's only a little bit of life in them. So they haven't come to fruition, basically. Cutting something down early. And it's information coming in up here from the crow above, delivering divine information. So she's working with somebody, okay, because that 4 is directly above that. And they're above her, right? She's working closely with them, and they're above her, giving her information to talk about, cutting down her political journey, okay, right? And she's coming out early with this, right? She doesn't technically need to start talking about this just yet, but she is. So that's part of what she's doing, you guys. Part of what she's being told to do. It is a distraction. It is getting people pretty caught up. It is part of a distraction. There is something else going on in the background here. Three more cards. So let's push you back a little bit. Put you up so that I can just, as we go, I can at least, even though you can't see those because of the lighting being so strange, I can explain to you how it reads together, right? So she's working with people very closely, someone above her, telling her what to do, how to go in and cut this journey down right now. And the moon says she's being controlled. She's being told what to do from those people above her. Okay. So she's just a puppet in the show, you guys. But the moon reveals things and ends things. So she's going to be part of this reveal, right? And so truths will come out because of this moon, but it's being used to get people to hyper focus on her. The warning there is don't get too caught up because it's poisonous, right? It's all of the slander, all of the chaos that's happening around what she's doing down here, this pathway, is actually a distraction to keep people's eyes off from something that's actually happening in the background. Beneath this, what's actually happening in the background, there's a mending going on. So this is the pentacles. And I know you can't see. I'm trying to that doesn't work. If I tip it that way, that doesn't work. That you might see that a little bit. That's the Seven of Pentacles. The Tree of Life is being mended. So the distraction is they're keeping your eyes off of something going on this earth plane, probably in our financial sector, that is either in the midst of being mended or being mended already, and that's what's blooming in the background. But if you're busy looking at Marjorie Taylor Greene, then you're not going to see this, right? It's not going to be so noticeable. So that's the chaos that's happening. So here with this 6, you come down and it's like there's this hyper focusing on her with the 6, the Lover's card. So we're talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene, so think about that. So there's a hyper focusing on her. Be careful, you guys, because you get too caught up in that and it's actually poisonous. That's what I'm saying. This news isn't for us, right? And then what happens is you miss what the King of Cups is actually doing. And the King of Cups, can you see it? The King of Cups, there's a lot under the surface there. So whatever the distraction is, there's a lot under the surface. We're getting caught up in this and this role that she's playing here with this pathway. But there's a lot under the surface that we're not seeing because we're hyper-focusing on her, which is actually kind of poisonous. But we're not seeing something that's going on probably in this financial sector under the surface because they're keeping our eyes distracted with this Marjorie Taylor Greene stuff. So with that being said, let's talk about what's under the surface. What's blooming and what's being mended. We're going to keep those 3 cards and we're going to read off of these. So how's that sound, you guys? So the first one, I know it's dark. The first one that I have right here, that's the Tree of Life. That's the 7 of Pentacles. That's the girl going out and mending the bleeding tree. The next one we have is the infighting, the distractions, the chaos, while something is blooming behind us. And the next one we have is the King of Cups, where there's a lot under the surface that will come up and be revealed. Don't forget that was right by the moon. The moon reveals these things. So the moon's going to reveal eventually what Marjorie Taylor Greene's role is. The moon's going to reveal eventually what this mending of the tree is. The moon's going to reveal what's under the surface. So right now, we're going to ask the universe to do a few reveals for us. So let's take a look, you guys. I'm going to move those up a little bit and shuffle these cards a little bit. We're going to get a little story off of each one. Just a little story. I have appointments this morning early. So, and it's already 7 a.m. here. So I'm just going to get a little story here, and we can look further into all of these plot twists that are taking place right now as distractions next week when we also look into the black goo and maybe just give the universe a little bit more time to say that last bit that they wanted to tell us about mainstream media, the news stations, right? So first I'm going to get a little bit of story, please and thank you. Can you tell me a little bit about this tree of life and what's being mended with a couple of cards, 2 or 3 cards? Please and thanks very much. And I'm going to cut them. All right, so what's bleeding? What's bleeding right now? We have the love. Oh, can you see that? I'm going to tip you like this. I'm going to do that. That might help. All right, so what is bleeding right now on this tree of life? People, apparently. People are highly caught up in emotion, and they're getting poisoned by the things that are biting them. What's biting them? Their emotions. So people right now are bleeding and in need of like healing. So there's a lot of emotional crap going on. So when we're talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene, what's she doing? Her role is to mend the bleeding of people that have been getting caught up in things that is actually poisonous. So her role is, just as we were saying in the beginning, coming out there as though she's neutral and not really aligned with Trump anymore, so that she can talk reason to people and mend the people that have been so wrapped up and poisoned and emotionally triggered with this lover, and get them to stop looking at all of these emotions and light up their crown, you guys, and start understanding that there's a lot of words and stuff out there that were meant to get them caught up and kind of poison them. And so what she's doing is she's getting out there. What she's doing with her words that are pissing some people off is actually creating a mending in people. So this is what the universe is wanting to say right now. More important than a financial system being mended, it looks as though people, her role is to mend people somehow. Get them to stop looking at emotions that make them feel icky and ignite their crown chakras. So how am I doing? Did I pick up what you're laying down there? Please and thank you. So if you think of this in conjunction with the way the cards were laid out a little bit ago, the 5 that I kept, the chaos, was in alignment with the mending. So there's all this chaos going on, and behind the chaos there's a mending. So that she's part of the mending, she's part of the healing, she's part of that new thing that's blooming in the background. So at first I was thinking they might be talking financial system or something, but it looks to me at this point that what they're talking is like through this chaos and through all of these words and through her separation, and she's actually helping to cut through the poison that has been poisoning people with this like super focus, overly emotional super focus, and that she's working to ignite their crowns, you guys. So am I picking up what you're saying so far? And then I'll pick those all up and I'll read on these too. Let's cut them. How am I doing so far with this? Picking up what you're laying down, am I? The Knight of Pentacles. So that would be my guess. I'm picking up what they're laying down so far. We're talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene. So it looks to me as though, because with the Knight, they're armored up, right? They're able to move forward in the world protected. So I would say she's protected, you guys. So there's protection around her, actually, as she does this, right? Okay, so let's pick these up and shuffle them in. Let's look at, now let's look at the chaos that is going on here and what is blooming in the background. Please and thank you. Zoning in on several aspects of this story, right? So, so people are getting caught up in the chaos of it, but it would seem to me that they're not understanding what this chaos that Marjorie Taylor Greene separating herself from Trump and getting out there and talking about all of this stuff, what it's actually doing to help bloom what we got was people's emotions and their crown chakras. And so think about that. If she's hitting a whole other audience, why should the audience that liked her so far get so caught up and shitty about it? Because through this, how do I want to put it? Let's just say through this chaos and the fake fighting with her and Trump, it's actually able to start something new back here. And we do need a certain percentage of people to understand the truth of the world and how these politics have been working and how crooked everybody's been right along. It looks like she's able to hit this whole other audience, you guys. So for the people that liked her up until this point to get all pissy about it is kind of silly, because honestly, she's creating great change right now with what she's doing. It's starting to bloom. And remember that moon will reveal all. She's doing what she's being told. She's working with other people, doing what she's being told from the people up above. This whole cutting down her political career and the speeches that she's making around it is all part of that. So now let's look at this, what's blooming through this chaos. Please and thank you. Just a few cards. Please and thank you. This shuffle, and then we'll cut them. It's waking up the sleepers. All right, so there we go, you guys. All right, so we're reading off of that chaos, the Five of Rods, right, where there's something blooming in the background. All of this that she's doing right now is actually waking up the sleepers. That's the Four. So these people that have been sleeping, the information that they may have been told or knew ahead of time about both parties being corrupt or whatever, they kind of buried that in the sand, right? They didn't want to hear it, and they fell asleep. They weren't listening to it. And so with what she's doing now, again, they're saying she's bringing some balance in. So she's poking people awake with the information and waking up their crowns. And how's she doing that? She's doing it by pointing out both sides of things with this. This is my media card. She's doing it by being a media personality. She's doing it by pointing out both sides of things, you guys. Under this love vibration that we've seen twice now with the lovers too. And, it's getting the people that watch media, that watch a particular type of media, to hear her. So, going on The View, a certain group of people heard her reasonably that didn't hear her before. And So what's happening with her being able to do this, she's waking people up, sparking their crowns awake, people that wouldn't necessarily have listened to her before because they watch a particular type of media. And this chaos comes down here, and again, it's creating more balance. So it's in the chaos, she's kind of waking people up, not only about the corruption on both sides, but apparently she's talking about a lot of the money grabbing in politics. And I think people really need to hear that. They really need to hear that, right? So people that liked Elon before the fake fight, all of a sudden hated him when he aligned himself with Trump, right? And they didn't want to hear, even from this guy that they liked, the money laundering, actually, that's been going on in government for a long time. So all of a sudden now everybody hated Elon, and they were going out, these liberals were going out and keying each other's smart cars because they were made by Elon's company. Isn't that silly? Because they were just hurting each other. Because come on, most conservatives don't have those battery operated cars. Just think about it. So they were being really, it was kind of ludicrous, right? So with Marjorie Taylor Greene going onto the media, reaching an audience that normally wouldn't be looking at her or listening to her because of what they choose to watch, you guys. She's able to show both sides of things, wake people up with her information, get their crowns sparked, and, bloom something out of an audience that wouldn't normally hear her. And she's speaking about money. So now they're going to be able to hear about the fraud that goes into the fraud within our governments, where there is all of this money laundering being in people's pockets, really not working for the people, but working for the corporations that are paying them. So this is kind of brilliant what is going on right now with Marjorie Taylor Greene, and really people, honestly, in my humble opinion, I'm trying not to be judgy, because we shouldn't be, but in my humble opinion, if you've been awake and watching things play out, and then you see this and you automatically turn and get angry and say MTG is bad, and you don't view it stepping back there with a little bit of perspective, then that's not truly being awake. You're still in a state of sleeping, honestly, if your emotions are so vulnerable and your logic hasn't stepped in, that you're able to go into fear or anger that quickly as things kind of play out. Because honestly, we shouldn't worship anybody, and worshiping Trump so much that then you automatically turn against somebody that might look as if they're fighting with him or look as though they're separating from him, even if they're out there saying that they believe in all of the things that we believe in, but they've separated from Trump. If people get all uptight over that, they're worshiping Trump, and that's worshiping false idols. And really, we have to move out of that state of being, because that's why we're here. That's why we were allowed to get into this place, because it got so bad that, if you disagreed with a political person out there that your loved one loved to death, they would hate you and stick up for this person who they've never met, never had coffee with, never will. Stick up for that person as though it was their firstborn child, and toss their friend or their family away. That's how we got in this position. And we really need to move out of that, right? So I feel bad for the people that haven't healed themselves enough to be able to not be so emotionally triggered that they can't like somebody or listen to somebody if they don't like everybody that they like. I mean, that reminds me of grade school bullshit. That's why I didn't hang out with girls in school, because the girls were like that. It's like, oh, you're friends with someone I don't like, so I'm not friends with you anymore. Or I'm going to get mad at you, and so I'm going to make all of my friends mad at you too. And it's just immature and ignorant. It's ignorant. The guys weren't like that. That's why I always hung out with guys. All my friends were guys in school because of that type of drama and BS. I just never had the stomach for it. So yeah, just not liking Marjorie because she might be in a fake fight with Trump right now is kind of silly. It's really about listening to the message. It's the message, not the messenger, right? And we really shouldn't worship anybody anyways. Worshiping people is just not a good idea. I'm rambling on, giving all of my opinions, but there's a lot of that. There's a lot of those wishy-washy people like, oh, if they're not screaming Trump's praises, we all of a sudden hate them. We loved them when they were screaming Trump's praises, but we all of a sudden hate them when they're not. And that's sick. That's sick. It really is. It's not healthy. That's not healthy. So let's see now what we get here with the King of Cups. Please give me a little bit more of a story here. This King of Cups, what's coming up from the surface? Talk more on that. Please and thank you. One more shuffle, okay? Cut them. And then I'll get a sip of my fake coffee. I'm drinking chicory this morning. It's good. It's hot, at least. Just getting used to the not having as much coffee. I drank a lot of coffee. All right, so let's get these cards pulled. What's coming up from the surface? Something new is blooming, you guys. Okay, so she's kind of getting people ready for the justice phase. So what's happening with all of this is that Marjorie's going to hit another audience that wouldn't technically listen to her, wake up their crowns, give them information that makes logic and sense. So that what's coming up from the surface? Well, justice. We've asked what's coming up from the surface. Justice. She's pointing the finger and getting people to notice the corruption on both sides of things. And she's talking about the money and so coming up from the surface, she's getting people to put their eyes on systems. What system? Both the Democratic and the Republican side of things. She's getting people to put their eyes on what? The money with this Five of Pentacles. She's bringing all this stuff up from the surface for a whole audience that normally wouldn't listen to her. And she's creating change that way. And this is going to be able to birth something new with that one. So with all of this stuff going on with Marjorie Taylor Greene, it's birthing something better. It's getting people to get back into a nurturing state and an awakened nurturing state rather than in this chaos and getting bitten and being poisoned and infighting and all of this. So they're using her as if she's a bridge right now. And so if she's being used as that bridge, it's so that people are ready. They've seen enough and they've shifted the way they're looking at things so that they'll be ready for when justice comes. So she's part of what's getting everybody ready for the justice phase, you guys. And that's what I'm getting, at least. So have I picked up the story to the best of my abilities there and read it in a way that you were hoping I would be able to pick up the message? Please and thank you. How'd I do? How did I do? One more shuffle, you guys. goodness, I'm going to keep that. Wanted to pop out. One more shuffle. We're going to cut them. How did I do? I finished it. Now, with this, I'm sorry. I'm not paying attention to where I'm putting things. So, I completed the message with the 10. Finished. There's a lot of messaging here with this 10 of Swords. So, in this Deviant Moon deck with the 10 of Swords, there's dangerous words, right? Harmful words that hurt people. And then what wanted to fall out was stuff behind the scenes. So I'm just going to give it another shuffle and I'm going to let them keep talking there. So this I'm going to put these in. So that message is complete. There's a lot of harmful words out there. Let's look. And then I'm going to have to get off because I have to get ready for my appointment. And I feel like one more shuffle and we'll cut them and we'll get the other 2 cards to tell this story. Holy shit. All right, so did I get the message did I do a good job delivering the message? I finished the message. And so don't forget, we're talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene still. And there's just a lot of harmful words out there right now around her, right? Claiming that she's boxed in, meant to do damage, meant to do harm, okay? So then what do we come down to? We come down to the 7. And that's of Cups. And so these words around her right now that are meant to do harm, the things that are being spewed about her right now are being put out there by people in the front, right? So maybe podcasters, maybe news anchors, who knows? But they're being put out there by people that are being controlled by someone in the back. So there's people in the front saying things about her, damaging things about her, that are being told to do that by somebody in the background, okay? So the people that are creating the drama are also being puppeted with that moon. Okay? So the people saying things about her out there, it's all like this big show. They're being puppeted. It's part of a big reveal. This is a higher arcana. So all of the words, there's people in the background, people in the foreground saying all of these words around her that are damaging, that make her sound like she's a bad baddie, right? But they're being told to put that all out there in the front by people in the back that are puppeting them. And it's part of the reveal process with the moon. And so these words, right, are meant to be strong words. Don't let them trip you up. Don't get caught up in it. They're basically saying this whole facade right now that we're seeing, this whole show that we're seeing, all of this stuff that's playing out right now with Marjorie Taylor Greene, it's all controlled, every bit of it, every aspect of it. And it's not for us to get tripped up, okay? It's to get people looking, it's to get people to wake up with the 11, Great Awakening, Great Awakening. It's to get them to look down the belly of the beast. And it's to get them to see how easily that beast that she's exposing has been able to hurt people with this tripping up of, okay? So there's a lot that will come of her doing this, and it's a good thing. So that's what I'm getting, and they don't want us getting caught up in this. This is a good thing. This is getting people to wake up and look down the belly of the beast and to see how easily this beast has been deliberately hurting people. And it's all being controlled, both sides of things. So don't get mad if you love MTG and your favorite podcaster or whatever is saying shit about her. Your favorite podcaster has been manipulated into thinking there's bad things about her by people who are controlled in the background that they wouldn't know a part of the controlled forces going on, right? And so on the news, if you're watching stuff on the news, this is all controlled. If you're seeing Marjorie on a news station or something like The View that you hate that, you wish The View were down and you hate The View, please understand that she's reaching a whole audience that she wouldn't have reached before, okay? So look at the debacle. Just go back to the debacle with Elon. Elon was loved by the leftists. He aligned with Trump and tried to be a voice of reason, and they all shit on him, even though he was showing proof, right? So now you have Marjorie Taylor Greene. She was hated by the liberals. She's moved away from the Trump. She's moved away from Trump. And she said, I'm not going to be a battered wife. I'm not going to put up with this. I've never done anything to deserve his hateful words. And she's talking about all of the concerns that we have. Now she's able to do that on places like The View with an audience that would have never listened to her before. And so she's getting those people to look down the belly of the beast. And it's waking people up to see how dangerous our government has been and how powerful our government has been over the people for a long time. So don't pay attention to the bad words about her or the words that she's saying when it comes to Trump. Don't. It's the big message. And know that she's getting people, she's hitting people she wouldn't have hit before with this message, and know that she's being controlled. We've seen this over and over. She's being controlled. She's being puppeted. This is part of what she's supposed to be doing, cutting down her political career, but she's being controlled by people above her, doing exactly what she's supposed to do. And the news that's coming out in any forum, any background, is literally being manipulated by people that are also being controlled in this operation. Even if they don't know they're being controlled, they're being told something that then they whisper to somebody who's in the foreground, and that person in the foreground brings that news and delivers it out. But it's all part of a puppeted operation, and it really is about the Great Awakening. So with that being said, how did I do? Did I just deliver that pretty well? Please and thank you. Please and thank you. One more shuffle. I did good with the Hanged Man. Got the message through. So there's all kinds of stuff going on with this Marjorie Taylor Greene thing. So know that with the secondary part of the Hanged Man's messages, that's the 4, right? She's creating balance. We've gotten the 4 quite a bit with her, you guys. So she is creating balance and logic in people. She's waking people up. She's doing what she's told. This has always been part of what she's meant to be doing. The bad words against her are also out there for a reason. Because if you have people shitting on her that the leftists wouldn't align with and wouldn't like, then they're probably more apt to listen to Marjorie if even more people are crapping on her. So all of these harmful words are designed to wake people up and get people actually looking down the belly of the beast. And so the secondary message with this Hanged Man, yes, I delivered it, brought you the message. But, you know, she's bringing a lot of, she's working to create more balance in people's minds, right? And awaken people. It's part of the Great Awakening. So that's a 12, you guys. 1 + 2 = 3. The 3 is rejoice. So don't worry, Hakuna Matata, be happy. Everything will play out in due time. That clock hanging off of his foot. So not so much about the financial system. It's about getting people to look at those things. And that's what's blooming. Getting people to look at things that they wouldn't have looked at before because the people that were talking about them, they felt were in alignment with Trump, so they hated him, basically. So that's what I'm getting, you guys. Just take from it what you will and toss the rest. But that's what I'm getting. So happy day after Thanksgiving. Some of you probably aren't working because you took the long weekend. I hope that you enjoy it. But for those of you that are working, and for those of you in other countries that are working, I still hope that you have a wonderful day. Know that I love you all very much. I haven't been on this week because, as I said, I was getting ready for the holiday and using every bit of my spare time to do it. I am absolutely exhausted from it at this point. It was okay. We made the best of it. We did all right. We got through it. I hope you guys all had a great day, one way or another, at least. So, yeah, happy Friday, you guys. Happy weekend. I will see you soonish. Again, this is just what I'm getting, but it's what I'm getting. So, and, you know, just take from it what resonates, toss the rest, really lean into your intuition, and see what you come up with. All right, you guys, until next time, I love you all. Have a beautiful day. Bye.